Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, karibu sana. Karibu sana, karibu sana. This is Kenya Revolutionary. The topic, the mada ya leo, just speaks for itself. The topic is Reject Finance Bill 2024 in its entirety. See, not part of it, entire thing. We'll get to that. I know you must be saying, hey, if you reject the whole thing, then how are we going to get money to, take care of our recurrent expenditures and all the infrastructure that we want to build and all this wonderful stuff that we want to do? I'll tell you why. We need to reject everything that has been proposed by this government and have a talk. We'll tell you where we should find the money. I think I highlighted that in my previous video, if you watch my previous video, but I will bring that up again. Before we get into that, we shall also delve into some difference that I noticed. There's a new way of maandamano. This is unprecedented. EC maandamano ya kawaida. This has more, it's more nuanced. Let me not say nuanced, but the term is, these guys are more smoother than our Azimio folks. And they seem to be more effective, And actually, they're making the police forces to look stupid. In fact, some policemen actually are really sympathizing with these guys. But not only that, these guys are doing something that the Azimio brigade followers failed to do. They protested peaceably as the Constitution stipulates, in a way that the police don't even know how to deal with them. Ruto and his police force don't know how to deal with them. You can't, if somebody is protesting peaceably, unashindwa hata kitu cha kufanya na yeye kwa sababu he's not threatening. They're just walking around, and they're telling you, in fact, one of them was being apprehended by the police and he was telling them, I'm fighting for your children. I'm fighting for you to have more salary. Unanishikia nini na mimi napigania watoto wako? Karibu sana dudu wewe shetani. Some names yawa. But karibu. Yeah. And we shall also touch on something else. There's a delegation of US lawmakers who are in the parliament. Why in the parliament today? Watching what's happening. Why are they here? Why are they so paying keen attention to what's going on in the parliament? This about finance bill. Why are they taking notes? Why are they there looking at what's going on with this finance bill? How it's being debated? We'll delve into that, the reasons why that is happening. But before I get started with all this, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, let me reintroduce myself again. This is Kenya Revolutionary. I'll be here approximately 30 minutes, maybe more, because I have to go watch a game in 30 minutes. But I'll try to engage you, inform you, and interact with you about what happened yesterday. Karibu sana shetani dudu wewe. The first order of business, if you do not know by now, is to like the video. The first order of business is to like the video. Now, the second order of the business, if you are watching me on the timeline and you're wondering who this is, jina ndio hiyo. Jina ndio hiyo. Tafuta kwa YouTube and subscribe immediately. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and all that. Okay. Shaitan is telling me the young people are working up to no more 70 plus people dictating. Applaud that maandamano. Absolutely applaud it too. Okay? We'll go to some tweets. But before that, there's something interesting that this President Ruto, that I've told you since 3 months into his tenure, I told you guys, this guy is a puppet of the West, and it's more apparent by the day. But let's get to what he had to say about what's going on all the maandamano and all the good things that are happening in our country. Okay, because we shall delve into what this maandamano is going and why we are rejecting this finance bill by its entirety. This thing is catching fire because it's going on countrywide. It's not only in Nairobi. Today it was in Mombasa. Tomorrow I think it will be countrywide. Kisumu, Nanyuki, Nakuru, Mombasa, Nairobi. I mean, it's catching fire. Okay? So these MPs that are going to vote yay for this finance bill, they better watch out. There are people who are calling them. Not only that, some are being exposed for their sexual escapades or sexapades, as they call it, and much more. All in all, I'm saying these folks that went to Maandamano yesterday, who are being labeled as Generation Z, Gen Z, they're using more effective, less violent, less confrontational way of protesting, and it's more effective than the usual rabble rousers by the Maandamano psychopathic followers of Raila Odinga. Let's get started. I'll start with Ruto's Ninio that he spoke today, his speech today. He says something that let's listen to Ruto. Tumsikie anasema nini. Mpaka tusikie Zakaya anasema nini. What is he saying? Let's go ahead and listen. Then I'll come back, okay? Sawa, twende.
That we are having a conversation about taxes and about debts and about what we need to do about it. This is the best thing that happened to Kenya, that we are having a conversation on issues that are of the nature of our country. Today, Kenyans know there is something called finance bill. Today, Kenyans know that we have a debt problem. Today, Kenyans know that there is a connection between the taxes we raise and the services we get, and the difference it makes in us not exposing our country to debt. That's a very good place to be. Let us continue this conversation. Secondly, I am also very happy because we are beginning to see institutions working in Kenya. That as the executive, we have made proposals to the legislature. The legislature have interrogated those proposals. The public has interrogated those proposals. The public have recommended, through public participation, their feelings, their ideas, their suggestions, and because the people's representatives have listened to the people through public participation, they have adjusted the proposals from the executive. Now going to end up in a product in parliament that came from the executive, interrogated by the legislature. Through public participation, the people of Kenya have had a say on it. It will go to the floor of the House, and we have a very robust system of governance in Kenya. Last year, when we passed the proposals, they even went to court. The court adjusted some of the proposals we had made. In fact, they suggested to us to make a law to underwrite the housing fund, which was a positive suggestion, from our judiciary. So the fact that the executive is working, the legislature is working, the judiciary is working, institutions are working in Kenya, that is a very proud country. And I want to belong to Kenya. There is no...
I'll stop it right there. Okay, he's telling us that the institutions are working, and he just spells out the process of which, laws are made. It's a bit insulting that he's talking about Kenyans now know what finance bill is, but that's not what my gripe is with him. Number one, we know that these institutions are not working. the public participation that he's talking about, if he really wants to listen to what the people are saying on the ground, the message is quite clear. The message is that this finance bill should be rejected by its entirety. We are not saying that we want to amend and just amend your original proposal and change things from your original proposal. We are saying we are rejecting the whole thing. That's what we are saying. He highlighted talking about the previous finance bill with the housing levy and all that stuff, and we went to court, and the court had to recommend that we make a law that, a lot of bullcrap, a lot of illegalities happen. In fact, that finance bill that passed, the finance bill 2022, 2023, or rather 2023, 2024, was passed illegally. So as the past 10 finance bill that has been passed for the past 10 years, fiscal years, the one from last year was passed illegally. So when Ruto tells us about public participation, if he listens to what people are saying on the ground, the whole protest was about, we do not want this finance bill in its entirety, reject it. Go back to the drawing board, and we shall tell you what we want from the drawing board. That's what Kenyans are saying, because you played games and nobody trusts you. So this is, we the people are going to decide what we want, what things we need to, you can tax us so that you can take care of the government business and provide services that you need to. We get to decide that, not you, Ruto. That's the whole idea of having idea behind having a public participation. Okay, so let's read Ichung'wah. Kimani Ichung'wah had something to say too. I'll get to Kimani Ichung'wah. Just give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go to Kimani Ichung'wah. Kimani Ichung'wah had something to say. Let's read his tweet here. And it kind of echoes what this president was saying. As you can see the screen, this is his latest tweet. Kimani Ichung'wah says in his tweet, "Good people, we don't edit bills in parliament. We propose and adopt amendments. This is normal procedure in lawmaking. Finance bill not being an exemption. The Finance Act will eventually capture the adopted amendments, and that is what will constitute the act of parliament that becomes the operative law," for your information. Okay? Now, the first comment actually probably just captures everyone's thought on this. Says, reject in totality. Reject it in totality. What I'm trying to say is this. This is what I'm trying to drive home, is that Ruto basically is saying this. I hear you guys were protesting. I hear you have concerns about some parts of this proposal, finance bill proposal by the government. Okay, we are going to change A, B, C, D, 3, B, A, C, 4, 5. Then we shall pass the rest of it. That's what's basically saying. But the people are saying, we don't want the whole thing. I know some people will say, well, you can't just say we don't want the whole thing because we have to pay taxes, so you can't reject the whole finance bill. What are you talking about? I get that argument. Me personally, let me speak for myself. Everyone has their own reason. Let me speak for myself. Again, I will maintain this position and I'll stand on my square. Before we even have any kind of draft proposed finance bill for this coming fiscal year, we need to collect money that was lost due to corruption in the past 5 years. I'll say it again. Oscar Dongo karibu sana. Thank you. I see you. Please like the video. Now subscribe. Kama just subscribe. I'll say it again. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Just give me a second. Just a small glitch. I'm back. Okay. So I'll read this tweet by Chungwa again very quickly. He says, good people, we don't edit bills in parliament. We propose and adopt amendments. That is the normal procedure in lawmaking. Finance bill is not an exemption. The Finance Act will eventually capture the adopted amendments, and that is what will constitute the act of parliament that becomes the operative law, for your information. And somebody basically says, reject in totality. Now, I know some people will say, hey, again, I'm just reiterating what I just say. Some people might say, hey, so if you reject it by its entirety, what do you mean? What do you want us to tax them? Because we have to pay taxes somehow. Yes, we have to pay taxes somehow. And my response is this: before you propose anything, taxing anything that you, even including our salaries and stuff, before you even put that down in paper as a draft proposal, you need to allocate all that money that was lost in the name of corruption in your tenure as the president. Okay? All the counties, we've been hearing cases from EACC day and night. No one has been arrested, no money has been recovered. Do that. Go back to Uhuru. Ruto, you were part of Uhuru Ruto regime in 10 years. Allocate that money that was lost before you even start proposing any tax cut, taxing of any paycheck or anything, pay slip. Do that first. Then sit down, tell us you have collected money ilipotea kwa corruption worth 4 trillion or whatever trillions that was lost. Then you can sit down and tell us, hey, this is what I'll tax you after collecting this money that we have recovered from all the scandals, from all the governors, 47 counties. Start from there. Then we can have a negotiating on where we can, what we should tax and what we should not tax. Because actually, it's the people who gets to decide and give the position or give permission to the administration of the day what they want to be taxed. If you want to raise tax, we have to give you that permission. Even to taxing our payslip, you have to have permission. That's the whole idea of going back and negotiating and debating and having a public participation before the finance bill becomes law. It is the permission we give the administration to tax us so that it can take care of provide services. So we are not against pay taxes. We are just saying that before you even start taxing anything, any proposal, go allocate that money that has been lost in the name of corruption during your tenure as a president in the last 24 months or so that you've been President Ruto. And go ahead and go back 10 years ago when you were the deputy president under Uhuru Kenyatta. There was scandal after scandal, scandal after scandal. The loans that we have taken that are illegally in New York, because your main stake is this. You keep on telling us that we need to raise taxes so we can pay our debts, but our debts hasn't been paid. In fact, you keep on taking illegal loans illegally. So how about you audit yourself for the past 24 months that you've been a president and 10 years that you've been the deputy president, okay? Allocate that money. Tell us how much you have collected from the corrupt deals, whether from the former governors and the current governors, okay? Because Article 226.5 basically says that even a sitting or a previous public officer that have misappropriated money, he can be held responsible to pay that money back. So do that. Then after you repatriate that money, come sit down and talk to Kenyan people of what you want to want you taxed. Tell us how much you've recovered from those corruption that has happened in the past 10 years. Then come sit down with Kenyans and tell them what you'd like to tax them. That's how you do it. That's my response to you to Ruto. Okay? Yeah. Pandora Papers. Yes. Even before we get to Pandora Papers, just the money that these people are misappropriating. Uhuru Kenyatta was telling us they were losing 2 million a day. Yeah? Oscar Odongo is telling he stole a good chunk himself. Ideal, yes, but naive. He can even start just the 2 years that have been president. We get to decide what we want, how much he can take from our tax, from our pay slips. That's how we need to hold this administration responsible. Right. So Kenya has no money, 2 million a day. Remember, Uhuru was telling us that 2 million, he was losing 2 million a day, but he doesn't even know where it's going due to corruption. Atueleze. Anyway, speaking of which, there's something that's very weird that's happening. There's a delegation of American lawmakers that were in Kenyan parliament watching what's going on, the debate that's going on about this finance bill. And everyone is wondering, what are they up to? Who are these people? Why are they interested in the Kenyan finance bill debate in parliament? What are they up to? Why are they watching keenly? Why? Let's see. Let me play a video of it. This seems a little bit strange. Twende, let me show you the clip. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, usiharibu wakati, please like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Mara moja.
Currently watching family. Can someone explain to me, like I'm a 5-year-old, why there is a delegation from the US Congress currently watching our Finance Bill 2024 debate in the House of Parliament? Can someone explain to me, like I'm a 4-year-old, because I'm not overstanding? Why are these guys being so obvious? Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Mzungus, what the hell? What business do they have? This is crazy, family. It's like they're confirming. It's like they can't even hide their white agenda. What do you make of this? What is this? So they're witnessing inside. And have you seen what Nabi has said? If what people want to demonstrate, let them demonstrate. But the institutions will decide. Atajua family.
So you see what I'm saying? A delegation from the United States Congress in Parliament as MPs discuss Finance Bill 2024. Why are they here? What brings them here? Why are they so interested in a small country in East Africa? Worried about the finance bill that they're about to pass. What's their interest in this? Is it because they're worried that their puppet might not get what he wants, might not succeed in undertaking their plan? The people are rising up against the interest of his puppet master, Ruto, and his puppet master? Is that what's going on over here? Let me go on with this. I want you to watch this keenly. Stay tuned. I want you to watch this keenly, okay? Keenly. I want to finish with this. Keenly. Watch this one. Tafadhali. All right, let me show you. Where is it at? All right, let me go ahead and show you this, because we want to compare two things.
We have had cars vandalized, we've had people robbed, even journalists were attacked today. And some of those people who are conducting or carrying out these attacks were people demonstrating in your name. Do you take your responsibility for those attacks?
Not at all. What happened today? Today was supposed to be a peaceful demonstration. Our constitution and Article 1 says that the power in the Republic of Kenya, sovereignty that is in the hand of the people of Kenya. They can either exercise it directly or through their elected leaders. So we were actually invoking that article in our constitution, read together with Article 37 of our constitution, which gives our people the right to picket, right to present petitions, right to demonstrate, so long as it is peaceful.
But there are those who will look at the pictures of protesters holding stones, hurling them in the direction of the police and even at some citizens. And then they'll say the Constitution provides for people who are peaceful and unarmed. Would you not say that you're stretching the meaning of peaceful demonstrations if we do see protesters carrying stones?
There's what is called offensive violence, and there's what is called defensive violence. The two are not the same. The police went and basically sealed the residences. People could not come out. They are throwing tear gas at the people within their compounds. So people therefore now came out to defend themselves. They wanted to get out. And that's why they were actually throwing stones at the police. So those two kinds of violence are not the same.
Do you see a situation where Raila Odinga and President William Ruto sit down at a table to talk this out instead of the chaos you're seeing on the streets?
I've said that.
Anyway, this is what I wanted to emphasize. Compare what was happening in Mandamano. Now we have seen clearly what has been happening with what was happening yesterday. There's a stark difference, okay? Now, we can agree that the police use excessive force in both cases. Some cases justify, some cases not. Most cases not, actually. Like in the case yesterday. We saw how those young people yesterday were simply singing songs, walking around with, their placards with, nothing else. There was nothing violent about them. They were not destroying shops. They were not kicking people. They were not provoking the police. They were not throwing stones. No one was being robbed. It was peaceful. Yes, they still got tear gassed, which is unfortunate. But the police, in most cases, didn't know how to deal with them because the police walikuja waki expect hawa watu watakuwa kama wale watu wa Azimio. But you see how intelligent these young folks were using ways where the government, the state does not know what to do with them. All they can do is arrest them. And from my understanding, almost all of them are, at least most of them who are detained, have been released. Now, can you see that? Then how about the end result? Our friends who was talking about offensive violence and defensive violence. Protesting is about no violence. The Constitution says you can picket peaceably. So why is Raila Odinga saying there's something called defensive violence? Protest is about non-violence. You see the difference? I want people to see this. That's why I'm so happy. That was the highlight of the day. The fact that there was no politician that was trying to hijack this movement. Yes, I saw Babu Owino was trying to help out people. He even went and visited that police that blew up his hand and visited, tried to bail out people and all that stuff. Of course, anataka kudandia, anataka clout to make up his name. But we can see a stark difference. You see how Raila, who is part of this government, uses the poor, the Kibera, slum dwellers. I'm sorry to say that. People who do not know better, who believe that he is their Messiah, to commit atrocities and in turn have atrocities committed against them. And as a result, we have carnage. You see what I'm saying? Let me show you a difference. Stark difference with what happened with Azimio. And I don't want to make this about Azimio, but this is something that we saw that's actually refreshing to see. Like the video, ladies and gentlemen, like it, tafadhali. The first order of business is to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, Dawadi, if you haven't subscribed, to answer Dawadi, he asked me, kwani we ni racist? Basically, why can't the Mzungus watch? Why are they watching? Why can't we see, you see our MPs go to Ninio, to their Congress when they're making laws? Why are they coming to our Ninio to do ours? See what I'm saying? Let me show you guys something. Let me show you something that really melted my heart during this maandamano. Mko ready? Haya. Twendeni kidogo. Haya.
And those that are against the government.
Hold on.
But the new Raila, we are the new Raila, we are the new James Orengo. Yes, you used to say that demonstrations were called by Raila Odinga and the ODM team and those that are against the government. But do you see any ODM person here? There's nobody who is wearing their t-shirts, their brands. There's no Wiper here. There's no Jubilee here. We are Kenyans, ordinary Kenyans who are tired of this government. I would want to dissect the budget. One, why would we have a budget that allocates money to Dorcas Rigathi? Which position does she have in government? Is it constitutional? Do we have Rachel Ruto awarded 696 million for what? Which office does she hold in government for her to be added that money? We are sweating for this money, and this money is being dispensed like it is everybody's money, careless. I would like to also speak about the finance act, the finance bill. We have a finance bill that has increased excise duty on fuel. Why would we increase excise
All right, guys, you see the difference. Sorry about that. Anyway, all right. Dawadi, first of all, go look at the definition of racism or racist. Then you can ask that question. Questioning why these Wazungu are in our parliament, this delegation from the US lawmakers are in our parliament, is not being racist. Please go look up what's meaning of racism or racist, being a racist is, before you ask questions like that, with all due respect. Okay? Do that first. Then you can find out what we are talking about. But anyway, you saw the difference between these young folks and our regular Azimio folks, okay? Who always, there was violence. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I'm sorry. I can show you. Do I need to show you another one so we can see what what these guys were doing. Here's another clip. I'll quickly show you. Okay, I have someone who really is trying to engage me here. Okay, let's give you your 2 minutes. Please refer them as Americans, not Wazungus, because it referred to someone's skin color. So what's wrong with that? I am Mwafrika, black. If I say you're black, is that racism? I'm describing how you look, your race. What's wrong with that? That's not being racist. If I refer to a Chinese person as Chinese or Asian, what's wrong with that? There's nothing racist with that. If you're a white person and I describe you as such, that's not racist. You are that. If you're black and I describe you as a black man, that's not racist. All right. The folly in that argument is that you alienate Raila supporters who are just as eager to support the cause. Luos will feel attacked just saying. Okay. There's nothing stopping Raila supporters from joining the Maandamano if, from my understanding, they were actually invited to join the party. If we were to go by Omosh Jakababa, I think I played in the video yesterday, they were invited to join the party. And according to Omosh, who I believe speaks for the majority of Raila supporters, they say they're not going to Maandamano. They're not going to join because they feel like when they called for Maandamano last time, no one showed up. So they feel like awataenda. So they can't say if they are really eager. Tomorrow there's another Maandamano in Mombasa, Nakuru, Nairobi, Kisumu, Nanyuki, pick a town. They are more than welcome to join the Ninio. This is a Kenyan Maandamano. This is not Azimio Maandamano. This is not Azimio against Kenya Kwanza. This is a Kenyan Maandamano. So even if you're a Raila supporter, even if you're a Ruto supporter, but you don't agree with the finance bill, you can join the party. So I don't get why you're saying they might be eager to join. If they're eager, they should be joining the party. In fact, I saw, what's his name? Gaucho, congratulates the young folks that went to the CBD and Ninio. And he's a staunch Raila supporter. We know Gaucho is one of those, Raila's errand boy. And he congratulated that. So I don't get that they're eager to support. No one is stopping them. They're part of Kenyans. They are Kenyans. They should join the party if they are really, if that's the case. Waingie, mmekaribishwa. But they seems not to, that's why I'm saying we have to call out these people for who they are. Raila Odinga, you see how Raila Odinga has been using the poor. Because if you look at how Raila Odinga does his Maandamano, he usually goes to Kibera. He drives down to Kibera and find people who are there, he supports Ninio, the slum dwellers. Alafu analeta huku kwa town, CBD, so that they can have confrontation with the police. Na wanaanza kutupa mawe. You see the difference now. These guys went to CBD walking and chanting, not vandalizing shops, not burning cars, not robbing people. Simple, simple, simple. And the police didn't know what to do with them. You want to get offended? That's the truth. And if I'm lying, correct me. That's what Raila supporters, Azimio supporters, do. We saw the difference between yesterday and some other different times, when Azimio folks are out there. And look at the Neo protest. These guys are protesting against a finance bill, while politicians wali protest wakatupatia story mingi. Then in the end, why did it end? Raila says he's going to AUC. What? What happened to the cost of living? This is a Kenyan Maandamano. Join the party. Ama namna gani? In fact, I'll play you Let me show you something. I want to show you something. I want to show you something. I'm glad you brought that part in your app. Let me show you something. Hold on. I'll show you something really quick while you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a moment. Okay, just take a look at this. Are you ready? For those of you who think I'm just attacking Raila and there's, let me show you this. Let me show you. I come with receipts. Ama namna gani? Aya, tuende tuone. This is a reaction by Raila supporters, at least some of them, not all of them. The ones that take active role. All right.
Boss Jakababa 1 hour. Mimi nitaongea mambo ya maandamano ya leo. Na mumeona vizuri maandamano kuna wenyewe. Jana muliweka polisi kila mahali. Oh, enda Mathare block. Enda Kibera block. Enda Jacaranda block. Nani alikwambia tunaenda maandamano? Nani alikwambia tunaenda maandamano? Na mumejiona wenyewe. Maandamano kuna wenyewe. Maandamano kuna wenyewe. Wakati tulikuwa tunaenda maandamano, wao ni watu wa Raila Odinga, ni wende wazimu. Leo wenye wako na akili walienda maandamano. Leo wenye wako na akili walienda maandamano. Bwana, mjui maandamano. Maandamano inataka experience.
Mpaka gari naona bado imepaka katikati ya tao.
Maandamano inataka experience wewe. Maandamano inataka ujuzi. Wanatuma tunakimbia, tunarudi. Wanatuma tunasika, tunarudisha. Wanatuma tunasika, tunarudisha.
Wanazunguka tunazunguka.
Kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni. Maandamano. So, mujaribu kidogo tu. Lakini mungepata watu Azimio, watu 5 peke yake. 5 tu peke yake. Hiyo maandamano ingekuwa ni sawa. Na mimi nimeona hii Kenya bila Raila Amolo Odinga kusema kitu iwezekani. Watu wa UDA mumeona na macho yenu. Maandamano kuna wenyewe bwana. Sisi watu natoka asubuhi na mapema tuko town. Na hiyo yani kukimbizana hiyo ni utamu ya maandamano. Lakini polisi anatuma tiap ndio, hiyo sio, hakuna utamu ya maandamano. Na mimi kwa moja kama wana nimekasirika, mjui maandamano. Mlijua tu vizuri watu wa Raila Amolo Odinga wataenda, hakuna. Raundi mkitaka kwenda maandamano kujeni.
Tuwapeleke training.
Kujeni. Mkuwa na experience. Mufanye mazoezi ya kutupa mawe. Wakitupa tear gas chini.
Mwingine niliona alitupa kangu.
Wakitupa wengine juu. Watu warefu mbele. Mimi nimeona kila walikuwa wanafanya maandamano mahali pamoja. Tear gas ikitupwa wanatoka mbio. Street. So, mumejua tu vizuri. Raila Amolo Odinga aseme tu saa hii usiku. Kesho za 11 ni maandamano, utaona. Leo mapolisi hawajakuwa na kazi, hakuna. Mapolisi hawajakuwa na kazi, hakuna kazi wamefanya. Hakuna.
Wametokesha tu mwili bure.
Hatukwenda kuja maandamano, juu
wengine wamenona hata kukimbia.
Namaliza niongee. Hatutaki kuharibu vitu, sasa tuharibu vitu za watu. Hatutaki kuharibu vitu za watu. Na mimi nimeshangaa. Biashara ilikuwa ni yenu. Tao ni yenu. Mumeharibu nyinyi wenyewe. Ingekuwa Raila Amolo Odinga angesema, "Sasa hii ungesikia tu mwingine amevunjwa miguu. Mwingine sijui amekufa." Hakuna leo hakuna kitu. Hakuna leo sijaona maandamano. Sijaona lori ya tear gas. Hakuna lori ya tear gas leo.
Ya maji.
Hii maandamano ya juzi, waleta tear gas ya blue. Leo ilikuwa wapi? Hakuna. Walikuwa nafikiria kuenda maandamano ni rahisi kama kupiga bibi. Maandamano inataka kujuzi nani? Maandamano inataka kujuzi. Ukiwa tunaamuka asubuhi tunaenda. Tunabeba bag. Uone vile tunaenda kazi. Hakuna ni mali kutani bag. Ukienda siku ya maandamano, Jalua anabeba bag kando yake. Unafikiria amebeba barua zake za hakuna, ni mawe. So watu wa UDA sisi kama watu wa Azimio, sisi kama watu wapangusa sana ni maombi. Mukaimba chukira tena, mukasema president ni Mungu, ndugu yake, ndugu ya Yesu Kristo. William ni ndugu ya Yesu, toka nitoke. Mwenye anafanya kazi ni Yesu. Yesu mwenyewe. Saitani wacha kaka. Satani Raila mulini.
Anyway, so you get the gist of it. You see he's talking about, basically he's implying that maandamano haina utamu if it's not violent. Yes, you have to just listen to them. I'm going by what you've seen Omosh Jakababa in these maandamanos that Azimio call. And he's explaining what happens there. Azimio and what happened. But the question is, which one is more effective without having casualties or less casualties? Let me just say that. That's my point. So this new Gen Z, as they call it, maandamano is more effective, less deadly than the Azimio folks. And the fight for it is for the greater good for all Kenyans rather than for the Azimio folks who are fighting to change the constitution so they can have positions, or for Raila to negotiate his way to go to AU. And that's what brings joy for me as a patriot. Okay? Because this is for everyone. And if you want to notice also another big difference, these guys are not fighting the police physically. They're not throwing stones. Guess what they do? For those police officers, especially the ones that do not have a mask or whatever the case is, they take a picture of them, they identify them, they expose their phone numbers, they expose where they live, they expose their family members to embarrass them and to remind them that if you do this evil, you will be exposed. It's better than those folks, poor folks who are being given alcohol, na bangi, na mambo ingine, who goes to town and are destroying properties, beating people up, all this nonsense. For what? Only for their leader to go to AU. So you see the difference. That is why this new maandamano by Wakina Boniface Mwangi and Hanifa and the rest of them, the Generation Z as they call them, is more effective, less violent, and it's by the law. So kudos to them, rebel salute. That is what I want to emphasize. And hopefully, for those of you who are in Kenya who are watching, please join in tomorrow. Tafadhali. The message has to be sent to these people. Aya, Annie, I haven't seen you for a while. Karibu sana, Annie. Please like the video, Annie. And now ulete watu 200 hapa subscribe. Let me just read something about Annie. Annie anatuambia hii ya General Z Viva wanasikia vibaya because they were bought. They thought ni how two saviors without knowing Gen Z can't be bought. Thank you, Annie. Salute. You've just made make your point without even me. I singeweza ku make your point in a better point. Wale ni watu wamenunuliwa, wanaenda kupiga makelele, and they thought that they're the only ones who can have an effective maandamano. And to them, maandamano is by causing destruction, chaos, and carnage to force the government to negotiate for their leaders. Ndio walipwe, maleaders hao wanunuliwe na hiyo nio. That's why I was very mad when I was looking at Babu Owino trying to wanajifanya ati anasaidia watu. I mean, thank you. We'll take your money for helping those people to get released from jail. But Azimio folks, stay away, because when the Kenyan people depended on you, you made us believe that mta fight for cost of living. Cost of living mpaka leo hakuna ninio. Mlituambia server itafunguliwa, server haijafunguliwa. The only thing that happened is what? Mlienda mka handshake ndio hiyo, na ndio hiyo nani anaenda AU. Hata siku hizi aongei, ako South Africa saizi. Raila. So yes, I'll read it again. He a Gen Z, Generation Z, Viva. Wanasikia vibaya because they were bought, they thought ni how to saviors without knowing Generation Z can't be bought. Viva. That theory hasn't been tested yet. That Generation Z can't be bought. Also, Moi revolters were once 20 years old. Okay, fair point. But I think the bigger point is this, James. What we are saying is this. The difference is Generation Z, they're fighting for the common good. Okay? And their ways of fighting this regime is not confrontational. It's less deadly. It's less chaotic. But it's very effective. Okay? Very effective. I mean, again, I wish I could find that clip where this young man was being arrested, apprehended by the police, and it was telling the police, I'm actually fighting for your children. He was non-aggressive. He wasn't aggressive at all. Wale mademu walikuwa naimba kwa cell, the ones that were in the street that were telling police in their faces, kwa nini mnatupigia nini ya nini? We are protesting peacefully. Hatujafanya nini? Hanifa, when he was being arrested, Hanifa wasn't fighting. The police that snatched her bag, walichukua picha yake, wakaeka namba yake hapo, tumemjua. In fact, the guy has been having cases. They're exposing this policeman. Lakini ingekuwa watu wa Azimio, you had Omoshe Jakababa akisema. So, okay, you might be right that maybe 20 years down the line now, kina Hanifa, John Mwangi, whatever the case, people who are involved there, wataenda watalipwa. But to me, what makes me happy is this. Number one, they're proving that it is not only the Azimio folks who can have an effective maandamano. And number two, the effectiveness of their maandamano is not by the fact that they are being violent and being chaotic and causing chaos. They are simply peaceably protesting, picketing, without having a confrontation with anyone. They're simply walking around singing songs with their placards. Non-confrontational, not aggressive at all. And their point is being received and it's effective. Even there was a clip I saw, police walikuja, there were like 6 of them or something like that. They were armed to the teeth. Na mabunduki, na masijui nini, and they reached there, and when they were approaching these young folks, walikuwa wamesimama tu hapo hivyo, they were not doing anything. Hata wakashindwa kitu cha kufanya. They were just like, okay, songeni huko basi. Didn't even arrest them because they utafanya nini? They're not fighting you. They're not awarushi mawe, awakutukani. They're not robbing anyone. They're not vandalizing anyone's shop, bringing it into somebody's new. So yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. Hiyo ndio kitu nasema. Annie says, tafadhali guys, make sure you like the video. Like the video, na kama huja subscribe, jina ni Kenya Revolution, please subscribe. Boniface Mwangi can't be bought, try and tested. No wonder Generation Z walikubali kutoka because they knew it won't be stopped. There you go. Davos, I haven't seen you in a while too. I was in Kapsaret just yesterday. Sudi area, that guy is really doing work. Today I'm in Kiambu. Yes, there was one guy, kulikuwa mtu mmoja tu, he was solo. Oh my goodness, that guy was a soldier. We need to find his name. Atumiwe kitu kidogo bwana. That was really ballsy of him. It was one guy, alikuwa na yake, alikuwa anapiga firimbi and he was walking by himself. Hey, In fact, there's some parts of Rift Valley. I think it was Eldoret. I also saw there was Kalenjins, at least going by their their accent, who are also not happy with this finance bill. They're saying wataingia maandamano. So you see, if you're non-violent, you make it about the issue. You understand? They're making it about the issue, not an individual. Davos, I'm doing good. It's been a while. Sijakuona for a while, Davos. Please subscribe and make sure you like it. Kujanga hapa tuongee bwana Davos. Wacha kupotea hivyo. And Annie too. Annie, I see you in other platforms, but it's okay. Nice seeing you back. Usipotee sana. Unaona James Wood ananifanya ni sweat hapa bure. Na wakina na Dawadi, msipotee bwana. Weka like hapo na subscribe. Mwache kupotea. But anyway, I'm doing good, Davos. Thank you so much. But yeah, that's the point I'm making. They're making it about issue. Wanasema, in fact, there are some people who are calling for what's her name? Hafi? What's that girl's name? Hata mi pia the one that was arrested. They're saying she should run for women rep. Watoe Pasaris. But you see, she was very calm. She was not fighting. In fact, she was smiling while wakimshika wanamwambia hey, ingia huko. She was not doing anything. Yeah. Maandamano imeenda shule. Hii ni maandamano ambayo imesoma. Si ile maandamano. Hadi na wewe. Anyway, it's been 56 minutes. Wacha nikaangalia Euros. But nimefurahia sana. I'm so happy to see Annie, James Wood, Davos. Watu wanatokezea kimnio. Hata mimi sijaona kwa kitabu. James Wood hata kama kawaida. Hey, Dawadi pia haven't seen him for a while. Ameniingia hapa na anasema mimi ni race. I mean, I know what you were saying though. Si ati na kuingilia, but I understand what you're saying. I just was correcting you hapo. Si racist. Mimi nasema hao wazungu wamekuja hapa kwa ninio? Kwa parliament yetu. What are they doing in our parliament? Kwa nini uoni countries zingine zikienda kwa hiyo parliament zao? To me, it shows that they are coming to make sure that Ruto afanye ile kitu vile walimwambia. If I was to interpret it. That's how I see it. Oscar Odongo, wacha kunyamaza. It's nice seeing you too. Shetani pia kuna hapa, Shetani Dudu. Shetani na wewe. Hiyo jina yako si hata uiweke vizuri bwana. Hiyo Shetani. Oscar Odongo, karibu sana. Tafadhali msitoke hapa kabla mjalike video na msubscribe. Mulike na msubscribe. Mimi they are out of line. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, we don't know what they're here, but it's just, I'm curious. This is we all know, I mean, the general feeling is that this finance bill is heavily influenced by the IMF, World Bank, and Wazungu Americani. Okay? And all of a sudden, when this thing is being debated in our parliament, there's a delegate from their nation who are watching keenly, trying to see who is going to, how people are arguing it out. Unaelewa? That's why it makes it suspicious, So to my friend Dawadi, si ubaguzi wa rangi. It's not racism. I'm just questioning why. Why are they here? Especially in a contentious issue debate that we are having right now. Why? Huwa tukidebate kukuninio mambo mengine uone hao wazungu wakikuja. Leo tu ndio unaona wanakuja. Kwa nini? It shows you something. There must be an interest there, okay? Yeah. So, hey. Anyway, guys, it's been 58 minutes. I want you guys to do me a favor. It's almost an hour. Please, nyinyi watu mko X, and then hapo kwa ninio, and then hapo kwa YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Like it. Push this channel. Ambia marafiki zako. Tafadhali. Enda huko kwa nani? Enda huko kwa Bernard waambiwa kuja huko. I doubt watavuka huko. Siasa yangu ni kali sana. Hii ni siasa ya Wakalasinga. Siasa Wakalasinga wenye siasa kali. James Wood kama kawaida. Thank you. Davos na wewe pia wacha kupotea bwana. I see that ninio once in a year bwana. James Wood kama kawaida, I like seeing you here. Dawadi wewe pia usipotee. Nice engagement, nice questions. Oscar Odongo kama kawaida. Shetani na wewe pia ukitoka huko ninio you also unaweza ingia ninio. But anyway, thank you so much guys. I have to go. It's been a pleasure. Nimefurahia sana kuwaona. Tafadhalini tafadhalini like the video, usitoke kabla uja like, share it, comment, tell your friends from other platforms wakuja waingia hapa, na mkitaka link mimi nawekeanga link hapa, mkitaka kuingia muingie museme mambo yenu ama namna gani. Anyway, this is Kenya Revolutionary, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades. I'll see you guys later. Now, but by the way, kama uko Kenya kesho muende maandamano. Maandamano inaendelea, maandamano every day ni maandamano, na ile ni peaceful. Kama vile Ani ametuambia ni maandamano ambayo imeenda shule. Sile any amount of it, it's been an hour. I'll see you guys later. Peace and blessings. Aya, siku hizo amesema nini? Siku hizo hata sisi tuko karibu kukufikia kisiasa. Aya. Sawa. Sawa, Ani, usipotee. Thank you so much for showing up. You made my day, actually. Take care. All right. Peace.